Hi guys, it's your girl Ife. I know that a lot of people have been waiting for me to talk about the recent immigration news that was announced by the immigration minister, Mark Miller. And to be honest with you guys, I saw that coming. If you've been following my post, I've been updating you guys about them considering capping the number of international students that will be coming down to Canada. As we all know, the whole world generally is facing inflation, so Canada feels like the way they can cope up with this at least is to manage the number of people that will be coming into the country. So they've been making this arrangement. News have been carrying it about them wanting to cap the number of international students that are coming to Canada, plus the news that went viral about how international students are going to food banks to take food and all that. And from there they had to the first thing that they did was to increase the cost of living to 20,000 plus for international students, and now they've capped the number of international students that will be coming into Canada. So what is the implication of this? From the news, the number of international students that they want to bring into Canada this year is 360,000, meaning that 360,000 will be shared among the provinces and territories in Canada. So we have 10 provinces in Canada as well as 3 territories, like provinces like Ontario, Alberta, Manitoba, and the rest of them. And we all know that Ontario is the largest, apart from Quebec. Quebec have their own separate immigration system. So Ontario, being the largest, might take the highest share. This is not confirmed. I don't know yet, but I'm just thinking, because if we consider the provincial nominee program, we know that Ontario always take the highest share when it comes to PMP, because it's second to the largest after Quebec. So you can imagine 360,000. I know in Ontario have different cities. So if we have 10 provinces and sharing 360,000 number of students, it's more like the entire world. This is not just Africa. We are talking about the whole world. So if, for example, the province of Ontario is allocated maybe 100,000, being that is large compared to other provinces. I know that in Ontario we have lots of cities, Toronto, Ottawa, and the rest of them, lots of cities. So among the 100,000, it will be splitted into cities. So we have maybe 10 to 20,000. That's if it's even up to be shared among the cities in Ontario. So you see, admission now will be very, very competitive. It will be very, very competitive. And another news that they announced was those colleges that are affiliated to the public colleges, as in the private colleges, will not be eligible for postgraduate work permit. Now I get questions on my DM: how do you know the colleges that are public, and how do you know colleges that are not that are private, or how do you know schools that are universities? Now the best way you can tell is, if you want to apply to any school at all, if you know the school you want to apply to, go to their website. It's always stated there. However, if it is not stated, there are contacts or email that you can always email the school. Do not just go and start submitting application, because you know that submission of application involves money. It's not free of charge. So before you submit the application, you should send an email to the school to ask them if their school is private or public. And another thing I need to tell you that it's not all university that it's not all schools that bear university that are actually university. Okay, so when you say university of this, ensure that it's actually a university by going into the website to double check if that university is actually university or not, because there are some school that bears university but they are not university. Okay, so that being said, if you watch my YouTube video about how to calculate comprehensive ranking score in order to know the kind of program you want to come to do, or the kind of route you want to use to immigrate to Canada, in that video I told you that study route just give 50 points. So studying is not just the only pathway you can use to immigrate to Canada. Okay, it's not just the only pathway. There are different options. So now that studying is becoming more competitive, because definitely it will be very, very competitive, and currently the study permit processing, it has even stopped because they want to wait till March so that provinces will bring because provinces, they are waiting for provinces to get ready for the attestation later. So they are giving them till March for them to be able to do that. So for the now, all the study permit application, the processing has stopped till March. So you don't have to wait and hang. It mustn't be, you mustn't come to Canada through the study route. There are some people that are even qualified to come to Canada as a permanent resident. Explore the option. There's option for PMP as well. So it mustn't be like study route. You mustn't use that. If you go to my YouTube channel, I made a lot of video about it. If you want to come in as a permanent resident, I get questions like, there was someone that was asking me on my DM that an agent told him that it requires him like getting a business to come to Canada as a permanent resident, which I told him it's not true. You guys have to make research, because that is why Canada website is there, so that you not be brainwashed by what all these agents are saying, because some agents say things just to make their own site to be very easy, because they know that coming in as a permanent resident involves a lot of work for them. It's not even for them, because at the end you're the one doing the entire work by yourself. It just requires you taking that IELTS, building your score the normal way that you're still going to build your score if you come to Canada as a student. Because coming in as a student doesn't mean that there is a special pathway for you to immigrate or to transition to become a permanent resident. You will still try as much as possible to build your score. And it's even worse now because the comprehensive ranking score is very high. So if you come in as a student and then you don't know how to like transition to become a permanent resident, thereby building your scores and all that, that's where you fall depressed, because you'll be like, had I known. Like me, I had admission. People that come to my TikTok live, I've shared my story. I actually gained admission into University of Saskatchewan, but after weighing the pros and cons, I have to like stay back home and do all what is required for me to come into Canada as a permanent resident, rather than squandering my money to come in as an international student, then before I would transition to become a permanent resident. So in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is, if the study route is not favoring you, you can take any other options. There are lots of immigration routes you can use to come to Canada. It's not just the study route. So explore other options like the PMP. In fact, I made a video about that in my YouTube channel as well. Explore those options. Because if you want to come to study now, you don't need to start wasting your money on application, because you are not even guaranteed. There are lots of applications. There are people that they've waitlisted already for the next session, and now they are capping the international students. So you can see that they're getting admission now. It will be very, very difficult. So if I were in your shoes, my best bet is for you to explore any other options other than the study route. I'm not an immigration officer. This is what I would have done if I were in your shoes. Thank you.